Okay, so if you're watching live on YouTube, let me know in the comments immediately if you can't hear. Same thing on Facebook. I'm using two different audio sources today. Good morning. It's Wednesday, which means it's time for another What's Next Wednesday update. I'm happy to bring this to you this morning. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Michael Hyland, Doctor of Physical Therapy. I have a physical therapy practice, Hyland Physical Therapy and Wellness, but primarily coming to you live for the Parkinson's Disease Education YouTube and podcast, and that's what this update is about today. Just going to do a brief video letting you know what's coming up on the channel in our content, and I'm excited for a few things to announce today. So for those of you who may have missed it, we on the channel there is a recent interview that I did with a gentleman named Frank Antonicelli, and parts 1 and 2 of that have released already. So if you're a member or a subscriber to the channel, obviously you'll see that, and that's a public video. And then so if you haven't seen that, please do check it out. It was a really good conversation, a really good interview. And you get information on how to access Frank's book. It's an audio book, so you can literally listen to it anywhere and at your own pace. So it's a really great message that he has. But what's coming up next on the channel, that's old news, that's old business. The new business is there is a new interview going to be released in a couple of weeks. And it's a life coach named Mariam Bennouna. She's a person with Parkinson's disease, and she has essentially turned her disease into a positive message of hope and information on lifestyle for those other people that are living with Parkinson's disease. So she has a coaching business, which is fantastic, but she does offer free consultations, and you'll find out how to access that as well. And she's on Facebook, so do look her up on social media, Facebook and some other platforms. But anyway, Mariam is great, and I really enjoyed speaking with her, and she was very gracious with her time. And she's a particularly good person to reach out to if you are, let's say, under 55 with Parkinson's, because she really specializes in coaching young onset Parkinson's disease individuals, because that's exactly who she is. So that's coming up very soon, probably in about 2 weeks. But really excited to announce this coming Saturday, I have a brand new reaction video to Shaking Hands with the Devil by David Plummer. And if you haven't heard of this or seen it already, it's really good, really good. And I did a candid reaction to it, and it was actually, at the moment, it's only members allowed to watch it, early access, but it's going to be released to the public Saturday at 8 in the morning local time. It should be local time. I know I'm not sure how YouTube does that, but at least it's 8 a.m. local time for me, so it might be earlier or later depending on where you're watching. But that will premiere Saturday. So the brief synopsis of that video, it's about a 13-minute film, but the reaction takes just a little bit longer than that, maybe 20 minutes, 20-ish, with commentary. But the premise of it is that David, as a person with Parkinson's, travels to Kenya in Africa and highlights his experience, really the experience of those suffering with Parkinson's in that country. But he also kind of fully immerses himself in their world, and it's very powerful. I won't say any more about it. I don't want to spoil anything. So if you haven't watched it already, please do. And you might even want to watch it first before the reaction, and then just see what you think afterwards. But either way, either watch it with me or watch it beforehand and then watch the reaction, one way or the other. So that's coming up this weekend. And then the last, well, maybe two more things. I'm going to start a new mini-series about medications. It's going to be medications, purposes, and mechanisms, or Parkinson's medications, purposes, and mechanisms, and kind of breaking down the different types of Parkinson's medications. Obviously, levodopa, carbidopa, levodopa, but then there's going to be all the different types of medication that you'll see out there treating Parkinson's movement symptoms, non-motor symptoms, and so forth. I find that's an area of great need and education, particularly working with clients. And hey, Ian, thanks for checking in and saying hi on Facebook. Medications are a source of, I won't say confusion, but it's just not a commonly known thing, and especially if you're not in the medical world, it's kind of gobbledygook. So I'm going to try to do my best to break it down into the simplest terms as far as mechanism and kind of the rationale of why certain types of meds are prescribed for Parkinson's, and what they treat and essentially how they work, like I said. So I've done a series on that before the podcast was rebranded into Parkinson's Disease Education Podcast, and I'm going to redo it as a video podcast / audio podcast, so you can get it either way. And I hope it's even better than the first time. I'm going to try to be succinct. I know, pharmacology and medication isn't everyone's cup of tea, and to be honest with you, I don't love it either. But it's important to know. I think it's really important to know why you take things as a person with Parkinson's. So that's going to be coming up, and I don't have a particular set date on that, but I'm going to be starting to release those coming into the new year. And you probably won't have, maybe there might be one more update like this before the end of the month, but I'm thinking as the holidays get closer, probably not going to we may have one more update, that's all I'm going to say. But I'm going to try to keep releasing this stuff to you as much as I can before we get to the part of the year where I don't have time to edit and do stuff because it's holiday season. So, but then again, if I work hard now, maybe I can release stuff to you even then, so that it's ready to go, in other words. The one last thing I just thought about before I wrap up is today, actually, I'm sitting down to interview George Ackerman, Dr. George Ackerman. On Facebook, I know you've seen him places. He's a very strong advocate for Parkinson's disease awareness and for a cure and for support for caregivers. George lost his mother to Parkinson's disease symptoms in 2020, at the very beginning of the year. In fact, it was New Year's Day. And he is a tireless advocate for those that suffer with Parkinson's disease. And I was interviewed by him recently, but we're going to do a video podcast interview today, and it's not going to be broadcast today or published yet, but that's coming very, very soon. Probably end of the month, if not first of the year. So that's about it for updates. I hope you enjoyed this, and it gets you kind of ready for what's coming, excited for new material. And I do hope to do a little bit more educational content, not just I don't know. I want to hear your feedback too, because the interviews are extremely fun to do. I try to keep them as short as I can, 30 minutes or so. But sometimes the conversation might be an hour and we break it up into a couple of different videos / episodes. But today it probably will be relatively shorter. But I want to hear your feedback and let me know if you enjoy these interviews. I know some people do, and I know it may not be everybody's cup of tea. I'm probably going to keep doing them just because it's really important to get the word out. But anyway, that being said, I'd like to hear what you think. And or who you'd like me to reach out to about it, because there's a lot more people we can talk to. So, thank you for watching today. Appreciate you joining live, Ian, and anybody else on Facebook and on YouTube. You know who you are. We'll talk to you later, and we'll see you in the next video. And have a blessed day. Be empowered.